Okay, so we have arrived at the end. Two crazy projects. English, right? At the end of the day, you get stupid, tired, and anyway. So I'm ready for this. I was upstairs doing more logistics, and running another air test on the gas line. I found a small leak. I think the last video it was a hard 21, and it stayed. I would have passed the air test, but it took 4 days for it to drop to 12. 12 to 15 is the test, and I'm sorry, 15 is the test. So it took 4 days to go from 21 to 15, which I don't think it might not be a leak big enough to even smell, especially in a well ventilated area. But I like the needle to stay still before I call the inspector. So I finally found what it was, and I got my eyeball on it. It's near a union, so that's good news. But anyway, I concentrated on finishing the Navion today, especially this one. And what was left was the recirc. That's number one. And so the recirc line is here. And if you follow it here, there, what I did, I just duplicated the hot water output. And the recirc was there, so I put a union on it so you can get the unit out without cutting the pipe. And I just did a boiler drain this way. And then went around the back with a 45, this fitting, and did a rise. And yes, there is a valve in it because that's the recirc. Once you pressurize this system, if you have the bypass valve inside on or off, this recirc circuit is part of the Navion's pathway. The water comes in, it goes in, and I think it's a T, and one goes to the exchanger, and the other one goes to the internal circulator pump. So it's part of the system. That's why when you buy it, it comes with a cap that seals the recirc port. So you could actually buy Navion with recirc and not use the recirc. I've done it. I've seen others do it too. Like say you can't find one that does not have recirc by any fat chance, just put a plug on the recirc line. It's not being used. And you could actually go into dip switches and turn it off so it doesn't even try to recirculate. But anyway, so you got that. And then I went up. Me with my 45s, I 45'd over, got out, and I attached it here. So that is it for the Navions as far as water and natural gas go. They are ready. The only thing they have to do is run the flues up. And today the HVAC guys finally showed up. So who knows if they got saved or not. To be seen, I would imagine. And the other thing I got done today was this. This is the third floor master bathroom. And this riser goes upstairs. And the other one is this riser, which goes down here. And that is the second floor common bathroom. So it's kind of a slew of stuff going on here. I put the support in here just because I wanted to have something to nail the PEX to. I just didn't want it floating in the air. And every time you use PEX, especially if it's not straight PEX, but this PEX comes in a roll, it's kind of hard to not to it's hard to make PEX on a roll look straight. But I got to tell you, this looks pretty straight for having coming off a roll. If you look at it, it looks pretty straight. The one thing I like about on a roll that you can do with straight pieces are the bends, because if it's on a roll, it already has a natural curve to it. So you could actually make turns like I did. Most guys will use fittings on those, like 90s. But if I have room, why, number one, waste the fitting? And number two, why have extra connections that you don't need? If I have room, I will just make a wide turn and swing it and make it happen. Yep. So there you go. The Navions are done. All the risers are in now. I'll probably show you another quick video or do it in this one. I put some valves over there. The floor is finished now. This was the last pour. So all of the floor in here is now lowered. Looks like by about a foot. So it's a nice height now. And we decided to leave the mechanical room at the original height. And that's part of the front utility room at the original height. And most likely, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to put probably a floor drain, and this is going to be a bathroom. Since this is the lowest point, if anything was to get nutty and just have a break, it should go in the floor drain. And guess what? The ejector will act as a pump. So if you had an emergency and water got loose, it's also nice that we left the height for the mechanical room, because now the appliances or the furnace itself is higher than any water action that may happen. The Navions, no problem, because they're already on the wall. So that's, nothing new. All right, so there's the money shot. Navion's done, is set for the exhaust. See ya.